So let's talk lighting. So I'm here on location for a short thriller film that I want to do. So I'm hoping to use this location's character to help bring together the ideas that I have in my head. And so what I believe is actually gonna bring this whole location to life when we're actually filming the movie is lighting. So I'm going to set up a kind of test lighting setup today and play around with a few things and bring you guys along on the journey. Let's get into it. And the first thing I'm gonna wanna do is close down this door because I need this space to feel isolated from basically the rest of society. So we can't have any kind of sunlight in here. And to go along with that, I'm going to want my main sources of light to be kind of blue or greenish, to be sort of grungy. So let me change the white balance. And so our main key light right now is going to be looking a little bit bluer. I'll be using this to light our victim, who will be in this chair, and the back of our main villain, who will be sort of working on something over here on this bench during the opening scene. And so to add a little bit more pop, I'm adding this bicolored sort of short light panel here to the back to cast its light on this back wall over here. I don't want it to be too bright because that'll take away from the emotion that I'm trying to invoke with this lighting. But I think right there should be okay. I also moved this light higher and slightly more forward so I can point it back this way so that our talent can be lit up, but the sort of main villain over here, his whole face and stuff will still be in shadow. So I found this while rummaging around in all this stuff out here, and I'm kind of wondering if I can use it as a practical. I have the Aperture MC here, and if I take off the softbox, because I might not use this in this scene, and then with that magnet, I can then attach it to the top, and it kind of makes like a little lantern. So if I add this over here, that could be a cool bit of practical lighting, while also keeping our villain's face not super well lit, but adding just like a little bit of pop of color to the side. Now I also have these two RGB light wands that I want to use in some way. So I added one under this desk over here to add sort of a little splash of green. All of this is subject to change. I'm just kind of trying to get my ideas out there. And I am by no means a professional filmmaker, gaffer, or anything. So if you guys have any ideas on ways that I can shape this light, leave it down in the comments and I will read as many as I can. One thing that I do sort of want is a grid for this softbox so I can keep it from spilling too much on this back wall over here because if I could do that, then I could also add a little bit of green there. So there's kind of an ambiance of green. Who knows though? So this is what I have sort of for the first shot of the opening scene, but it'd be an extremely boring opening scene if it only had the one angle. So let's try a few more. So something that I've been noticing as I've been working in this spot is that it is hot. So if I'm going to be having actors in here, I'm going to need to do something about that. So I'll have to go out and get a fan of some kind that I will have blowing in between takes. And as long as it's not too loud, I may be able to have it running while we're filming, but most likely not. I'll definitely want to have cold drinks on hand on the day of filming. But another shot that I believe that I would most likely want in the opening scene is something sort of like this, with our first victim tied to this chair and some contrasting colors in the background. Now, I have it that yellowish green that I was talking about earlier, but yeah, no, I don't exactly love it. So that'll need more playing around with, and I guess I'll find a color that works a little bit better. And this is another shot that I want to include in that opening scene. I've changed around the lights a bit more. And in this context, I actually love the green color a lot more. So I have the Aperture MC in this sort of lantern type thing, casting most of our light here. It still kind of works as a practical, even though you can't really see it because it's just out of frame. I have one of the green lights under here, which is casting most of that green that you get on my shirt here, adding sort of detail and life to the killer, because I don't want him in complete shadow. And then if I step in more, you get sort of the blue from the lighting of the victim on the back, which personally I do like. And those were the only 3 lights that I had at first, which ended up having the shot look like this, which is okay. But I wanted to add like a little something extra. So I grabbed that other light wand just over here, and then turn down the brightness so it doesn't add too much light, because everything over here should be sort of shrouded in mystery. And I really like the green that it adds to the skull right here. I think it's because it's white, and I don't know. I feel like this is something that a serial killer would have. And so that brings us to the end of the video. I do hope you guys enjoyed me sort of kind of talking out my ideas to myself. And if you guys are interested in seeing the film that I've been talking about throughout this video, please don't forget to subscribe, and I'll be posting behind the scenes from that on the channel for you guys to check out as we progress through the project. And if you guys are interested in the gear that I'm using, I'll have links to most of it down in the description. And until next time, one of you guys come up with a catchphrase for me and let me know in the comments.